So that was in 2017. So it was an interesting time in the world. Cloud was, I would say, towards the end of the beginning of its journey. It wasn't fully matured yet. It wasn't certainly a staple in everybody's vocabulary, but certainly everybody was aware of it. I ended up becoming very familiar with the Sage ecosystem because of previous careers, both in Sage as well as in enterprise cloud computing. And the idea was, when we looked at the marketplace at that time, there were a lot of cloud companies who were focused on different things. There were cloud companies who were focused on enterprise level security, availability, and redundancy, but didn't really care about the application. And then there were companies who were very much focused on application hosting. However, things like security, availability, and redundancy kind of went to the wayside. So you had application hosting companies who were very, very, very inexpensive. Cybersecurity was in its infancy at that point, ransomware, all those types of things. People still felt like they weren't vulnerable or targeted. And then you had companies who were extremely focused on that, but not necessarily, conscious or aware of the applications that were sitting and how that impacted business. So when we created Cloud at Work, it was really to marry the two, really bring enterprise level cloud computing into application awareness and application specialty and optimization. And we wanted to do that in a very unique way, where we weren't just going and targeting people's customers, but we were working collaboratively through partners to work with them exclusively to obtain the market. And I feel like we've achieved that. The biggest problem that we were solving, in my opinion, was I always look at challenges in the market, and I feel like people either over-process them or over-layer them. And so the biggest problem that we were solving in the marketplace, in my opinion, was cloud computing. And still today, people are tackling application workloads in the cloud by looking at it as checkboxes or layers. So the problem that we were solving was, how can we consolidate that to eliminate vendors, eliminate finger pointing, and eliminate complexity for our customers? SaaS was really in its infancy at that point, right? Software as a service. So we were trying to take legacy applications and figure out how to get them as close to SaaS as possible. So things that people love about SaaS are everything's included, right? Don't have to worry about it, just consume it, and I can worry about my business. Things that people don't like about SaaS are, hey, I have something unique about my business that I need this bolt-on or this customization or this, I need to do things this way. I need my own uniqueness. And that's why people love legacy applications. So we set out to say, hey, what if there was a world where you could host your applications in an enterprise level cloud with a company who can take you further and optimize your application and have you not worry about application support and worry about optimizing your servers for that new upgrade. But at the same time, you control when you upgrade and you control what customizations live within that application. That's, in a nutshell, that's really what we were solving, is really eliminating the layers, removing layers, and simplifying consumption. I mean, day one, right? We had our first conversation. I'll never forget it. It was just me. I was numero uno, and I was doing every job at the company. And we onboarded our first customer, and within 2 weeks, they were like, my gosh, this is amazing. This is exactly what I've been looking for. So that gave me the reassurance that we were onto something. And knowing the Sage ecosystem, knowing the partner community, I knew that we just had to get the word out, and the rest would take care of itself. So I immediately shifted to finding amazing people, building an amazing culture that's built around customer-centric, customer-first, looking at how we can constantly improve the experience our customers and partners are having. So it was great. Early days. Well, it was first me and a gentleman named Mike Graham, which we've known each other for 20 years, and Alex and Eddie Solomon, really just in a room brainstorming about what this should look like. And once we laid out the vision and laid out the plan, we began to execute. So it was a lot of, meetings with data centers and negotiating, platform prices and storage prices and hardware prices, and doing a lot of different things. If anybody's ever been involved in like a startup, it was really great, because we were like a startup company, but we were a part of a very, very established company with Net at Work. So it was really exciting. It was fun. I love to build things. I'm really passionate about that, and I constantly am looking on ways to improve. So it was wearing many hats and doing the absolute best that we could for our customers. Well, the biggest risks in the beginning were making sure that the product delivered at an excellent level. We went to market initially with very, very high standards, very high SLA standards, unheard of in the marketplace. 99.99% uptime guarantee. We invested very early in SOC 2 Type 2 certification to begin to get audited, to make sure that from a compliance standpoint, we were there for our customers. So the risk was, while investing in all of those amazing technologies and all of those amazing features, and focusing on cybersecurity way early. And, one, we weren't the cheapest, right? So is the market going to consume or understand that these risks are coming? Because we've always been a company that has really been looking ahead, not in the present, right? Like, how can we continue to build for what the future looks like? So that would be the biggest risk, was the market accepting, our product as we designed it. From day one, it was clear, being a part of many different cloud ventures, building my own, being in the enterprise space, being in the Sage space, very, very clearly, it was the people. The culture that was already established at Net at Work helped really shape and mold the culture that we began to forge at Cloud at Work. And, I really think those first 6, 7 people that came into, my kid would go like this, the first 6 to 7 employees that we hired, really, really set the tone, right? We had a few core values. Net at Work has core values, but Cloud at Work, we have our own. And really the first one is no finger pointing, right? We live by that. We breathe that. No off button. So something goes bump in the middle of the night, we're all up, right? We're all there. And we over communicate and customer first. Right? So by following those 4 and having those people believe in that and really feel a part of that, allowed us to be where we're at today. Without those people, it wouldn't have worked, for sure. There was a story early on. This is very, very early. A customer in a very, very highly regulated industry. This is right on the cusp of like the mass ransomware, saga, had a server outside of Cloud at Work on their own network that was not managed properly and was forgot about, which in 2018, 2019, pre-COVID, even during COVID, those things happened all the time, right? It was really, that really heightened our awareness towards the susceptibility of all of these network devices sitting in an office that we don't go to anymore, right? And so that server was infiltrated, which took down their entire network. And because we had direct connections to their network, their Cloud at Work environment was impacted as well. Every single person at 3 a.m. at that time, I think there was 10 of us, every single person was aware, was not rattled, We had a plan. We had a documented execution plan for how we were going to recover. We recovered that customer within 10 minutes. 10 minutes. And their X3 environment was up and running again. And most cloud companies would have stopped there, right? Most companies would have said, okay, my part of the job is done. But we didn't stop there because we had copies of their Active Directory and we had healthy copies of other images that we could help them with. So we spent the next coming weeks helping rebuild their entire corporate structure. And that's not something we had to do. That's not something we got paid to do. It's something that lives inside each Cloud Worker, right? And that is to go the extra mile and be there for our customers. We understand that challenges happen and our customers understand challenges happen. And really at the end of the day, what everybody's looking for is a reliable, trustable partner that they can lean on to help them and guide them as these challenges happen. Hopefully avoid them, but it's technology, right? These things are going to happen. So it's really about how you respond and how prepared you are to respond. And that story always sticks with me. It helps set the foundation for who we are.